team. Actually, they'll play better at home. I say the Cavs take game 3 as everybody become prisoners of the moment.
We all are.
Late local news is next, except on the West Coast, where you will see Jimmy come alive. Game night, we'll see you game 3 on Wednesday from
in Oakland. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Soldier's DNA. Dubs and Cavs. Game 3, Wednesday night at 9. ET on ABC.
These guys are going to make this summer pop.
Yes, so happy.
Timbaland, Emma Bunton, Nick Carter, and Rita Ora join you, America, to build the next big music sensation live.
Yeah.
Boy Band premieres Thursday, June 22nd on ABC.
Let's see what happens when Wi-Fi becomes X-Fi. Welcome home. This is your home temporarily. With Xfinity X-Fi, you can actually personalize your at-home Wi-Fi experience.
You not only get the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home, but you can manage that network. So you can see which devices and which people are most active.
Let's say it's bedtime for the kids. You want to shut off their devices. You can control that. Fantastic. Yeah, we don't have any of this stuff.
Get started with a special offer on an X1 double play for $69.99 a month for a year. Now with double the speed. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The new Mazda 3.
Now get the 2017 Mazda 3 for 0% APR for 60 months plus $500 APR bonus cash.
It's a good-looking ride, that Toyota Corolla. Easy to get emotional about those lines and that look. So here's a little logic. The Corolla is the only car in its class with a collision avoidance system standard. And you get Toyota Care too. That's 2 years or 25,000 miles of no-cost maintenance. And right now, get $2,000 cash back on Corolla or lease for just $149 a month. Wouldn't it be nice if everything this sweet made this much sense? Toyota, let's go places.
Around here, we work hard. And at Golden One Credit Union, we believe your money should too. Through better rates and more free services, our profits go back to you, the people who made them possible. So switch to Golden One and start reaping the benefits of banking on each other. Golden One Credit Union, stronger together.
Mark S. Allen, weekdays on the Morning Blend. You're watching Toyota Sports Extra with Pierre Nugent.
And welcome to a special edition of Toyota Sports Extra on ABC 10. I'm Pierre Nugent. Game 2 of the NBA Finals is in the books, and we've got some special guests joining me to break it all down. Coming up, all things NBA Finals, how the Warriors were able to take a 2-0 series lead, and is there any reason to believe the Cavs can get back in this series? We'll also take you live to the post-game podium coming up. And Steve Kerr makes his return to the sidelines for Golden State. What impact did he have tonight? And the NBA draft is just 18 days away. We'll get you caught up on some of the big names that have passed through town to work out for the Sacramento Kings. Welcome in, everybody. We begin tonight with what we just witnessed at Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Let's get you right to the first half action. Steve Kerr making his return to the Warriors bench. We haven't seen Kerr coach this team since Game 2, the opening round series against Portland, as he's been out with an ailing back. A back-and-forth affair through the first 24 minutes. Steph Curry hitting the floater there. Moments later, it's LeBron James's turn to make an impact. Off the steal, LeBron goes all the way and slams it home with authority. Take another look at this one. Poor Andre Iguodala. He had no chance to stop that one. Just get out of LeBron's way. Don't get put on a poster. That's all the advice I got for you. End of the first quarter now. It's Kevin Durant's world, ladies and gentlemen, and we're all just living in it. A three-pointer at the end of the first quarter. The Warriors put up 40 points in the opening 12 minutes. Second quarter now, defense turns to offense. Off the block, Dubs running the floor. Klay Thompson, what shooting slump? He bears a three-point there. Clay scored 11 in the first half, but Cleveland would hang in there. The Cavaliers would put a little bit of a run together before halftime as they closed the gap to 67-64 at the end of the first half. Okay, let's jump to the second half now. We haven't heard from Draymond Green yet in this game, but here he is in the corner bearing a three, and the Warriors would extend their lead to 8. Moments later, keep your eye on Steph Curry here. They've got LeBron James matched up on Steph Curry, and look at the dribbling display Steph puts on here. LeBron just can't stay with him. He can't stay with him. Steph gets to the rim and scores. The crowd loves it. Curry all fired up. The Warriors fired up. And this play coming up here sums up the game in a nutshell. Should have been a steal and a layup the other way for Cleveland, but it ends up in the hands of Klay Thompson. Buckets. Another three ball. Thompson had a great game, finishing with 22 points. Steph Curry finishes with 32. Kevin Durant leading all scorers with 33, and the Warriors win game 2, 132-113. Golden State takes a 2-0 series lead as the series moves over to Cleveland for games 3 and 4 beginning on Wednesday. And now we are joined by two very, very special guests. To my left, Henry Turner, the high flyer. To my left, Kenny Thomas joining us once again. Kenny was with us at the end of game 1. Guys, we appreciate you guys coming down, joining us here at the postgame show. You, of course, these two guys, legendary Kings. Kenny, kind enough to join us one more time. He was with the Kings for the last playoff series in 2007 when they took the Spurs all the way down to it, game 6. Henry Turner, meanwhile, the high flyer. You don't get tired of hearing that, do you?
Never.
The high flyer himself, Henry Turner. Guys, this series has been, I don't know if we want to say what we thought it would be, but game 2 tonight started off 3-point game at halftime, and then the floodgates opened again in the second half. How are the Cavaliers going to be able to stay with the Warriors?
Well, first off, Pierre, the Cavaliers are outmanned. They do not have enough firepower to deal with that juggernaut right down there in Golden State Warriors. Yes, LeBron James, yes, he is the Hulk out there, but understand
yes,
he can only be at one place at one time. Even the Hulk needed the Avengers to make it happen. J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, D. Will, those guys are going to have to step up. If they don't, they will have no chance if those auxiliary guys do not step up to the plate.
They actually came out and showed a little bit more excitement this game, seems like, because I think the Cavs were embarrassed last game. And it's unfortunate that the Warriors came out and did what they did, because you want to see kind of like a good playoff game. It's been unique because there's been a lot of blowouts. So at the same time, the Warriors have had so much energy and playing so well right now. So we'll just see what happens in game 3.
For as good as Cleveland was leading up to this final series, I mean, it looked like they were really clicking on all cylinders. I know Golden State was undefeated going into the final series, but Cleveland, you're looking at two teams right now. Okay, they're the best two teams. Cleveland, in the last 2 games, they've been with them for the first, 24 minutes. And then what is happening in these second halves that has allowed Golden State to just take off?
Well, when you look at them, it's the disparity between the East and the West. Yes, Cleveland is the dominant team in the East. They play good teams in the East, but they get to show their dominance. And then you see guys like Iman Shumpert and their auxiliary guys step up and have good games. But when they come to the West, they're playing Golden State. You don't get a chance to rest. You cannot stay with those guys pound for pound, talent for talent. The only way Cleveland is going to get back into this series, they're going to have to play grit. They're going to have to play hard. It's only one thing that's going to really help them out over their talent. They're going to have to get in their hearts and play very tough basketball.
Yeah, especially going into Cleveland, they're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to bring even more excitement. But the Warriors, they have so many weapons, and it's very nice that Klay came out and had a good game. He was my MVP choice.
That's right. You did say
see
that.
What happens. Yeah, KD's playing so well. I mean, 33, 13, and like 5 and 5, and Steph, his first triple-double. That guy is freaking amazing. I don't understand that, how he can shoot so well.
When the Warriors play at such a fast pace like that, is there a way to slow them down? I know Henry just kind of touched on it a moment ago. You got to maybe, nobody's going out there trying to say you got to hurt anybody or anything like that. But is there a little extra chippiness that needs to go on if you're Cleveland to kind of send a message or try to slow this pace down a little bit?
Back when we was playing.
The good old days.
It was one of those things. It's like
you had to touch him up a little bit. Make him feel you.
Yeah, I mean, when we were playing, you used to get pushed, beat, punched. Now it's like nobody wants to touch anybody. So to me, I think the NBA is like all about points right now. So the Warriors, in order to contain them, you got to hope they miss. And if they miss, you might have a chance. Other than that, you don't.
It doesn't look like they're missing.
They're not missing anything, Pierre. Yeah. And the problem is that if you're trying to play a pretty game, such as what the Golden State Warriors run, you're playing right into their hands. You cannot come down and play their style. Cleveland tried to play their style tonight. The Warriors turned the ball over 20 times.
Wow.
20 times, Kenny, and was still able to score 130-plus points. That's why San Antonio played Golden State Warriors so well, because San Antonio, when the Warriors turned the ball over, San Antonio made them pay. They're not going to come down and turn it back and give you back the ball.
Cleveland down 2-0 now. We're going to go to Ty Lue, who's at the podium right now, the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The loose balls, 50-50 balls, we got to get to those. And when you don't get to them, they make you pay. You know, every mistake you make, defensively, they make you pay. And you saw that tonight.
Robert? Robert Littell, Black Sports Online. Can you talk a little bit about Tristan Thompson? He, last 2 finals, dominated a lot on the offensive glass, only has 8 boards in the first 2 games. Is it something that you're seeing that's different with this finals, and how you think you can get them going?
No, they're doing a good job of, trying to keep them off the glass. And at times we're down, and, they are playing well defensively, so we decided to go smaller and kind of open the floor up and space the floor, which was good for us for about 3 quarters or 2 quarters and a half. So nothing Tristan's done. It's just basically just trying to get more scoring on the floor, more shooting, because they try to load up and help so much.
Second row on your right, Coach.
Yes, Coach. Dave Lewis, NBC News Radio. Statistically, obviously, it doesn't look great moving forward, but you've done it before. Coming back last year, does that give you some encouragement to know that it is possible, despite what it looks like statistically for you?
Well, they play well at home. I mean, they won their first 2 games like they're supposed to. Come into a tough environment. We knew it was going to be tough, but they won their first 2 games. We get a chance to go home now to our home crowd, where we play well also. So they won 2 games. Now we got to go home and regroup.
Any other questions for Coach? Dave again here. Go ahead.
Ty, what have you made of Kyrie's first 2 games of the series?
What do you mean?
He seemed to be building through the Eastern Conference Finals, playing some of his best ball of the season, and his numbers haven't looked the same. I just wanted to know how you feel like he's playing in the series so far.
Well, I mean, defensively now he has to do a lot more, and running around with Steph and chasing Clay and chasing Steph and constantly having to be on alert. It takes a lot out of you offensively. But I think he's doing a good job trying to play with pace, pushing the basketball, and scoring the basketball for Kyrie is not a big deal. So he'll get on track as far as scoring the basketball.
Last question, next row back.
Coach, Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy. If you would point a single aspect of your game you need to improve to win Game 3, what would be?
Defensively, I think having awareness, can't relax, can't fall asleep. This team, their offense is constant movement, so you got to be locked in. You can't take a peek somewhere and lose your man. So they make you pay, and they have a lot of guys who can shoot the basketball. Have a lot of guys who are great passers. So you got to be alert at all times.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it from Tyronn Lue, the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. The interesting last question, if you got to change one thing, what does it got to be? Defensively, he says. Defensively is where it starts, but easier said than done, I would think.
Once again, Pierre, they're going to have to lock in. The Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have to touch the Warriors. They're going to have to make them feel them. If you let the Warriors just run up and down and get easy shots, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because the Warriors are coming out there and having fun. You can tell they're just enjoying life and sharing the ball. The Cavs depend on LeBron James too much, I think. And at the same time, he's only one person. They need to come together as a team, and hopefully they can have a better game in Cleveland.
We're going to talk a little more NBA Finals when we come back. We will be back in 30 seconds.
The RAV4 is the SUV that gives you more. More safety thanks to its standard collision avoidance system. More peace of mind with Toyota Care, which is 2 years or 25,000 miles of no-cost maintenance. Plus, the RAV4 gives you more model choices, including a hybrid that gives you 34 miles per gallon. Right now, get a RAV4 and get up to $2,000 cash back, or lease a RAV4 for just $209 a month. Wouldn't it be nice if everything offered you more, like the RAV4? Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, everybody, to a special edition of Toyota Sports Extra. Pierre Nugent, joined by 2 very special guests, Henry Turner, Kenny Thomas, both former Sacramento Kings. Game 2 of the NBA Finals just wrapping up with the Warriors winning 132-113 to take a 2-0 series lead. The big news of the day coming down a little bit earlier, to my surprise, I didn't expect to see this, but Warriors head coach Steve Kerr back on the bench for tonight's game. We hadn't seen him since the early round series against Portland after Game 2, but he was able to come back and coach in this game. A good sign for the Golden State Warriors. Kerr back on the bench. What does that do when you're a player and you see your head coach, you know he's hurting, and you see him able to come to the bench and coach this game? How does that motivate you going into a game like this?
A familiar face, a familiar voice, understanding that it starts at the top. It starts with your head coach. Yes, Mike Brown has come in and did an exquisite job, but understanding Steve Kerr is the leader of this basketball team. And when you have your leader out there on the floor, you feel like you can do anything.
Steve Kerr, he was with the Bulls. He knows how to win championships, and having him back and giving them support, it's great. I mean, if I had my coach back like that, I mean, he's an amazing coach to a certain extent, you know what I mean? So having him back, and I mean, I would be happy too.
He's a guy that seems to be a player. Obviously, he was a player before. But we will talk about Steve Kerr actually in just a second. LeBron James actually in the locker room right now. Let's go listen from LeBron.
I think so, right? So if we don't defend home court, what happens?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
Well, yeah, then you guys are looking at getting swept.
All right. So the answer to your question.
LeBron, did you get any? Are you going to need? Did you get any, or will you need any IVs?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Just need some food and some wine. I'll be all right.
Hey, LeBron. Usually you're a podium guy. I mean, in the finals especially, and is just coming doing this in the locker room any reason for that?
Yeah, there's a reason.
You want to share?
No.
When Kyrie's having a rough night,
It has nothing to do with wins and losses, though.
when Kyrie's having a rough night, like, was there anything you can tell him to encourage him?
Of course. Yeah. And I just told him, just continue to be patient. Game will come to you, and just keep asserting yourself. And we got to figure out a way to get him going early. He's been such a big piece of our success the last 3 years, obviously. So, we could do a better job of trying to get him going early. And he missed some chippies, some ones that he's so accustomed to making, but, we'll do a better job of that in Game 3 as well.
How can going home alter your outlook, your optimism, your as you look forward to Game 3?
For me, I feel much better on the road. So, you go home, people tend to get more comfortable. You're in your own bed and your own facilities and things of that nature. So, and for me, it doesn't change. I'm the same way on the road or at home. I still have this bunker mentality when it comes to playing ball. So, we look forward to it. Our fans are looking forward to it. We know that. So, we got to give them something to cheer for.
LeBron, does it mean anything to you under the circumstances that you tied Magic Johnson's record for finals triple doubles?
I think it will. Right now it means nothing, but it will. It will mean something. He's one of the greatest to play this game. Right now, individuality for me means absolutely nothing when it comes to this team sport. But when I'm done, I'll probably look back on it and say it was a cool feat. Thank you.
Two more.
Brown, are they trying to take Tristan away? What can you do to get him touched?
Yeah, they've been out there talking a lot about just trying to keep a body on him, a couple bodies on him. But, he's a big piece to our success, and they know that. So they've neutralized that in the first 2 games.
One last question.
Well, over the next 48 hours, what is your process going to be like as far as trying to find a way to, make adjustments and sort of figure out a way to beat that team? Like, how do you go about that process?
What do you mean?
Like, last year you're kind of in this position too, and you sort of figure out a way to solve it.
That's a Coach Lou question. It's not my question. Sorry, I can't answer that.
Is that what?
That's a Coach Lou question. You ask me what our practice is going to be like. I don't put the game plan together. I'm sorry.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you have it from LeBron James. Guys, you both played in this league. When you're in a series like this and you feel like you're playing still pretty good ball, but you get knocked around by 22 and then by 19, what is said on the plane ride back and practice leading up to the next game by your stars, your leaders? What is said in order to get you guys going again?
Well, first of all, LeBron James knows. He then took 2 serious punches to the chin from Golden State. And they understand that the only way they're going to get back in this is that they have to change something when they go home. It's win or go home. And LeBron James, you heard him. He's very upset. He don't want to come out and say it, but he is hot. Understanding Golden State did what they were supposed to do. Come out, hit early, and hit hard. Now, you go to Cleveland and you steal one, and the next thing you know, you come back to Golden State and close it out.
I want to ask you, Kenny, too, because we mentioned the last time the Kings were in the playoffs, you were on that team against San Antonio. You dropped the first 2 games in San Antonio, and you come back and you win the next 2 games at the old Arco Arena to tie that series up. Was there anything that you recall at your time coming back to Sacramento that was said or done differently in order to get you guys back in the series?
I think it's one of those things to where you're still in the series. It's not over. It is the NBA, and everybody and the guys that are in the NBA are very competitive. But at the same time, like you asked him earlier about the plane ride home and everything, they just got to get over and come out with a lot of excitement and energy because they're playing at home. Having your crowd behind you is the most important thing, especially being down 0-2.
Cleveland Cavaliers down 2-0 as they head back to Cleveland. The NBA Finals continue on Wednesday night here on ABC 10 with game number 3. Don't you worry, these two guys will be with me when we come back. We still have more to come here on Toyota Sports Extra, including the Kings preparing for the NBA draft with 2 picks in the top 10. We'll hear from the newest prospects visiting with the Kings.
Toyota Sports Extra will be right back.
Let's see what happens when Wi-Fi becomes X-Fi. Welcome home. This is your home temporarily. With Xfinity X-Fi, you can actually personalize your at-home Wi-Fi experience.
You not only get the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home, but you can manage that network. So you can see which devices and which people are most active.
Let's say it's bedtime for the kids. You want to shut off their devices. You can control that.
Fantastic. Yeah, we don't have any of this stuff.
Get started with a special offer on an X1 double play for $69.99 a month for a year. Now with double the speed. Click, call, or visit a store today.
We're neighbors. We may be different. From another planet. Greetings, humans. Or simply unbelievable.
Good morning.
But as your neighbor, we look out for you. So we're giving you over 175 days of thrills, laughter, and wonder. The California Neighbor Pass, just $129 online at Universal Studios.
So far, my greatest memory is watching my son play his first middle school basketball game. Seeing him take the court in middle school, and he played up. He was a 6th grader playing in the 7th grade. It was just, you know, being a father and looking on, it was just a proud moment. Definitely has a great shot like Curry. He's extremely quick, fast, aggressive. I mean, he's all around really great player. Way better than I ever was. So.
Thanks for sticking with us on a special edition of Toyota Sports Extra. Pierre Nugent, Kenny Thomas, Henry Turner here on the postgame show talking Warriors and Cavaliers, but we're going to switch gears for a little bit. While the Warriors are enjoying their 3rd straight trip to the finals, the Kings once again find themselves in the lottery for the 11th straight year. However, this year is unique for Sacramento. They currently hold 2 selections in the top 10 guys, and with the draft coming up on June 22nd, the Kings have been hosting a number of workouts with draft prospects, a chance to see these guys in different situations on the court, as well as a chance to spend some important one-on-one time to see what kind of person the Kings could be getting. While in the past years, top prospects have chosen to skip workouts for the Kings in the past few years, it appears times they are a changing. North Carolina's Justin Jackson came through this past week, the biggest name to come through Sacramento in the past few seasons. Joining him, Oregon's Jordan Bell, and last season's National College Player of the Year from Kansas, Frank Mason III.
Being picked in the NBA, no matter what the draft pick is a dream come true, let alone being top 10 and coming to an organization like this and, you know, a setup like this. So, you know, no matter who picks me, it's going to be, you know, a blessing and an honor for sure. For me, being a small forward, I mean, it's definitely appealing. So for me, I mean, it's definitely very appealing. And if I get picked by him, it would definitely be a great situation, I feel like.
You know, just trying to get in front of, you know, every team that I can, you know, to impress them and show what I'm capable of. And, you know, hopefully, you know, everything else take care of itself.
So there you have it from some of the best prospects coming up in this year's draft. The Kings wrapping up their pre-draft workouts, presently holding the 5th and 10th pick in the draft. Obviously, you've seen the names that are out there. Guys, with selections number 5 and number 10, the Kings have options. Who do you like?
Well, Pierre, I like the best player at the time. You know,
best player available.
Best
Easy
player
strategy to go to, absolutely.
Because the Sacramento Kings, they have so many holes they want to fill, and they're going to have so many young guys on this basketball team. That's why you see young prospects saying, okay, I will go to Sacramento because they know this is a rebuilding time, and they can come to Sacramento and make a name for themselves. It's not like before where guys were like, well, I'm thinking about Sacramento. Sacramento is the place to be because they're changing the culture. We got young guys, and they rebuilding the brand.
Rebuilding is a great time to have 2 picks instead of just 1, am I right?
Oh, yeah, it's key right now, especially with the rebuilding process. I think they should look for a 1-2, a swing 1-2, and maybe like a 3-4, especially getting rid of Tolliver. I was surprised that they let him go, but I understand it is a business.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes to where you don't know if you're going to get traded or released, but at the same time, they're young and they're going to grow.
The NBA draft coming up on June 22nd. We are certainly excited for that, and we'll have more Toyota Sports Extra coming up right after this.
Toyota Sports Extra will be right back.
Time. It's a funny thing. 2 days with the in-laws can feel like 2 weeks. But 2 seconds eyeing your crush can feel like a lifetime. At BJ's, we know all about spending time. It's the key ingredient in our new Brewhouse Slow Roasted menu. From the prime rib we cook for over 4 hours to the baby back pork ribs we slow roast overnight. We know you'll make every moment count. Visit bjsrestaurants.com for a special offer.
As a not-for-profit, Golden One Credit Union is a little different than a bank. Sure, we answer to a bunch of suits. And yes, our profits go straight to our owners. That's because our owners are you. So switch to Golden One and start investing in each other. Golden One Credit Union, stronger together.
I wanted to see what this would look like on one of ours.
But I'm feeling a little constricted in a merman kind of way. Rob, I know why you called in sick now, buddy.
We want you to look official when you're cleaning up the giraffe yard.
Will I pick up poop?
Nah. I feel like now I don't look at bees with the side eye.
A lot of Kings fans jumping on the Warriors bandwagon.
Walt isn't a fan.
You're watching Toyota Sports Extra with Pierre Nugent.
All right, welcome back to the Toyota Sports Extra. We got Kevin Durant and Draymond Green at the podium right now. Let's go listen to those two guys.
To help everybody out, you know, he's so good at just sniffing out plays before they happen. Excuse me, and so I just try to follow his lead with that. I learned so much from him throughout the season, but sorry, I'm just trying to play hard, man. I keep saying that. Just play hard every possession. I'm gonna make mistakes, but not get discouraged because guys make shots over me, or I gave up an and one the first play of the game, you know. So I just try to just keep my head up and think about the next play and just play hard for my teammates.
Jay on the left.
Jay down to ESPN. Draymond, what have you seen from Kevin and Steph in these first 2 games?
I see 2 guys who, you know, Steph I've been around for 5 years. K, who I've been a teammate now with for a year, but played against for 5 years. I'm more locked in than I've ever seen either one of them in my life. Whether it was playing against him, other than when he put 52 up on my head.
54.
My fault. Shortchanger. You know, other than that, you know, when you got somebody doing you like that, it's just like a burning fire in their eye, and you know you don't stand a chance. But that's like the look that I see in him, you know, throughout this finals. And both of them, to me, it seemed like it's personal for both of them. And you know, you're talking to the greatest players that we got in this world, locked in the way they are. You know, that's why we're up 2-0. And, you know, they're, you know, 2 of our leaders, you know, that we follow. And with them playing like that, everybody has to be locked in when you got those 2 guys locked in like that. And so, you know, they continue to do that, which I have no doubt in my mind they will. You know, we'll continue to follow their lead.
Last 2 questions on the right and over here in the third row.
Yes, Draymond. Dave Lewis, NBC News Radio. You're passionate when you're in the game or not in the game. And I thought the best reaction you had tonight was when Kevin had a block of Love late in the game. He went down, had a runner at the other end.
And one,
yeah, and you were into it. And I thought that single play probably finished them off.
All right, there you have it from Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. We'll have more on the NBA Finals coming up when we come back.
Planted the seeds. There is a tree as old as me. Branches were sown by the color of green. The ground had a rose and passed.
Right now at Subway restaurants, you can enjoy the flavorful rotisserie-style chicken collection. 3 subs made with 100% white meat chicken with seasoning and marinade. Try the rotisserie-style chicken cordon bleu, the barbecue rotisserie-style chicken, or the rotisserie-style buffalo chicken. Have them prepared just the way you like, with any veggies you want on your choice of freshly baked bread. Stop by today for the rotisserie-style chicken collection, only at Subway restaurants.
Winding down here on Toyota Sports Extra, real quick, Game 3 coming up on Wednesday night. What do the Cavs got to do to get back in the series?
Defense. Defense and heart, Pierre. They're going to have to come out and play like it's their last game to get back into the series.
Back with more right after this.
I was dreaming of bigger things and want to leave my old life behind.
Freedom is never far away. Take one drive in the most awarded and best-selling SUV brand and discover that the world is your backyard. Hurry in for great deals now at the Jeep Drive and Discover event.
Special thanks to Kenny Thomas and Henry Turner for joining us tonight on a special edition of Toyota Sports Extra. We'll see you tonight at 11:35.
How you like the ribs? So good. What we should be doing is putting those ribs on a burger. Take the bones out. Let me say this for the millionth time. I will never put ribs on a burger. Yeah, I know. Who would do that? Real ribs on a burger. We did that.
Cigarettes are not just dangerous when they're smoked. They're dangerous long after. Cigarette butts are toxic. They release chemicals that poison our water and harm wildlife. And millions are polluting our environment.
Let's see what happens when Wi-Fi becomes X-Fi.
Welcome home. This is your home temporarily. With Xfinity X-Fi, you can actually personalize your at-home Wi-Fi experience.
You not only get the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home, but you can manage that network. So you can see which devices and which people are most active.
Let's say it's bedtime for the kids. You want to shut off their devices. You can control that.
Fantastic. Yeah, we don't have any of this stuff.
Get started with a special offer on an X1 double play for $69.99 a month for a year. Now with double the speed. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Tellis, weekdays on the Morning Blend.
Welcome in, everybody, to a special edition of ABC 10 News. It is 8:30 right now. Joining me, Henry Turner, Kenny Thomas, 2 former Sacramento Kings. We begin tonight with what we just witnessed, a Game 2 of the NBA Finals. The Golden State Warriors putting a stranglehold on this series. Steph Curry is at the podium right now. Let's hear what he has to say.
Things and try to impact the game across the board, other than just scoring and total team effort tonight with how we played and withstood their first punch coming out of the first quarter. So a lot of positives. That's one thing I need to correct going into Game 3. Give ourselves more possessions and good things will happen.
Jermaine, all the way in the back.
Jermaine Franklin with TSN. Steph, there was a rare moment / opportunity in the third quarter where LeBron was guarding you one-on-one. Do you relish those moments?
This is basketball, man. I mean, every possession you have an opportunity to impact the game. Doesn't matter who really is across from you. You don't get into the one-on-one matchups, especially on this stage, because you get distracted from how you're supposed to be playing. And obviously, he's a great defender. So if you have opportunities, you have to do something, pretty special to score. But for the most part, you can't focus on like you're in a playground. It's just y'all two out there. That doesn't do you any good in those situations.
You had a pretty solid reaction following that lay-in, though.
Oh yeah, it's a big moment. It's a momentum swing, and Coach got on me at halftime about my body language and just trying to play with passion, play with joy. The turnovers kind of got underneath my skin a little bit, and I was letting it affect, how it's kind of my mannerisms too much. And in that moment, big momentum swing, us, trying to separate us, from, or, continue to get a lead. And going into a timeout, you want to, have some fun and enjoy that moment.
Janie up front.
Steph, Janie McCauley from AP. Along those lines of that sequence, what did you see? I mean, you dribbled down, you came back up, you dribbled, kind of circles around him and then went left to score that. I mean, how do you decide on a sequence like that?
Honestly, I was rushing to begin with because I felt like there's an angle here, an angle there, and there wasn't because a huge crowd around on that right side of the floor. And then I was able to kind of reset back behind the three-point line. You kind of just, give a little hesitation, make him think you're going to shoot and just try to go around him. And at that point, I was a little bit more composed than earlier in that possession. I was just kind of like a chicken with my head cut off, just, running circles. So that was kind of a microcosm of the game. We were rushing a lot in those situations, trying to keep it simple and just, make a play.
And how much how much fun was it to see what Clay was able to do tonight to kind of get back on a roll offensively?
It's always great to see. We're never worried about him and his shooting or anything in the spotlight that's on that. He does so much for us on the defensive end. His presence just on the floor as a threat to shoot, even if he doesn't, get an attempt up. But definitely when he's making shots, and there were a lot of timely shots tonight, were huge. And I know he didn't lose confidence in himself at all, and knew he was helping us win even though he wasn't shooting the ball well. And tonight things turned around in his favor, and hopefully he's created a little bit of momentum for himself going into Game 3.
Jay on the left.
Jay Adonde, ESPN. Steph, when did you learn about Steve Kerr that he'd be coaching tonight, and what did his return mean to the team?
I found out when y'all found out. I think I just got into the arena and kind of heard he was doing his press conference and giving the update. So the interesting thing is he's been around a good amount the last 2 weeks, even the last 3 or 4 games. Even in the San Antonio series, he was a part of the pregame routine and video prep and just, giving us some pointers here and there. And then obviously at halftime, showing his face and giving us what he has. So the whole pregame process was all the same tonight. It was just a matter of him showing up on the bench and giving us, that energy. And it's always great to see. It was a great moment for him and for the crowd and everybody, showing their appreciation for, all he's been through. And to see him back on the bench was huge. And, for him, like I said, the whole priority was his health. And I think he's in a good place right now.
Anthony here in the front.
Yeah, Anthony Slater, Barry News Group. Steph, Draymond was in here earlier and said he thought you were the most locked in you've ever been in your career. I mean, do you feel that?
Yeah, I'm playing with a lot of energy. That's the biggest thing. Trying to be aggressive every opportunity I have. I think there's another level to get to. Talked about with the first question tonight about, just being smart with the ball. So there is another level to get to, but just trying to be aggressive and enjoy this moment, man. There's playing in the finals, and the journey is unbelievable, and we want to keep it going.
Chris over here on the left.
Well, he is a bad man. There is no doubt about that. Steph Curry, the straw that stirs the drink for the Golden State Warriors, 32 points on the night. After Game 1, Kenny and I were talking about how Kenny believes he's already the best shooter this league has ever seen. You and I were talking in the office during Game 2, thinking, we've never seen a guy make it look so effortless before. Well, is there any way that somebody can stop Steph Curry?
Pierre, it's almost unfair.
Yeah.
Because this guy could shoot from so deep out, you have to guard Steph Curry in the parking lot. He lets it go just that far. And I love when he talked about the Klay Thompson factor, is that they're not worried about him offensively.
Right.
Because they have so much firepower, they need Klay to lock in on Kyrie on the defensive end, try to keep his numbers down because they got enough guys that can score.
Which he's doing, and he's doing a great job with Kyrie so far. Kyrie's putting up decent numbers, but he's not out of control. So, I mean, you got to credit Klay for that, absolutely. Kenny, this man, look at this. I mean, it's LeBron James on him one-on-one, And now he's just going to spit. Look what I'm doing. I'm just going to go straight to the cup and in.
It's like he's playing out the park.
It does look like it, doesn't it?
It's so effortless. Like how he's amazing. I don't even know what to say. It's the fact that he's so young and he has tremendous upside still, and he's still learning the game. And his handles are unbelievable.
Kenny, it's party time, and Steph Curry say, "Come on, LeBron, can I have this dance?"
Oh my God, right?
I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago. I remember there was a little bit of a tiff between the Warriors' old coach Mark Jackson and Steph Curry when Mark Jackson said something on the broadcast of it's a bad example for young basketball players, and he took a lot of heat at the time. But I understand what he means now, because now it seems so easy. It looks so easy to just cross half court and then launch. And then that's not the basketball that we were used to growing up watching you guys play.
Us old farts, we would love to keep it that way.
Yeah.
We would
You're
love
still
to
young.
Listen to Charles Barkley. We would love to keep basketball old school, but I'm sorry, the game has evolved.
Yes, it has.
The shots that they're taking were horrible shots back in the day. If you had a 3-on-1 fast break and you flared out to the three-point line, I guarantee you were coming out the line. Exactly. I mean, coming out the game. But in today's game, that's the right play. We talked about it early on when Golden State, they drive to the basket and they just throw it to the corner, because guess what? You supposed to be in the three-point corner.
Do they look like any team that maybe you could play to back? Even 10 years ago, I don't think we saw a team like this.
Man, I wish I was just on that bench.
Yeah.
Just to enjoy the whole moment.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like some of those guys like Matt Barnes, he's over there on the bench just living it up right now and looks like he's about to get a ring. But we got to remember, what was that, 2 years ago when the Cavs came back?
Yeah.
So it is the NBA. You never know what's going to happen. So the Warriors got to go into Cleveland and put up a fight and do what they've been doing.
And, we got to give a plug. Okay, we love Kings.
That's right.
That 02-03 team was the best we have seen. Those guys transcended basketball. Everybody wanted to play basketball like the Sacramento Kings back in the day.
It was beautiful basketball. The ball never touched the floor. Backdoor cuts. I mean, these guys, it was just beautiful basketball to watch. Unfortunately, they never ended up with the title thanks to the Los Angeles Lakers. I know that's a touchy subject around here. I won't talk about it too much. But, I mean, LeBron James can only do so much, right? I mean, he can dunk on everybody. He had 29 points tonight, a triple-double, 29, 11, 14. Kevin Love with 27, Kyrie Irving, 19 points. Those guys doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them, they're running out of time to do their part.
Right, and you kind of heard it in LeBron's voice tonight, understanding that this man came out and gave a triple-double, and you and I, we laughed at it.
Yeah.
We looked at the score with 6 minutes left. Golden State had 125 points.
And LeBron's coming out the game.
And there's 6 minutes left. And granted, they turned the ball over 20 times. Cleveland, they do not have the firepower to match that.
You can't turn over the ball. When you turn over the ball against the Warriors, you can't really recover from that because they're going to come right back at you. And like Henry was saying, in transition, the Warriors run to the three-point line. They don't run for layups. Threes are like layups to them.
You and I were talking before game one. You had mentioned to me you think the Warriors were going to win this series in, I believe you said 5 games, I think. If I'm not mistaken. You said maybe you might get to 5 games.
I think I said 6.
Did you say 6? Okay. I'm
going to leave it at 6.
Well, are you still thinking 6 now? Are you still thinking 6?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
The Warriors are playing so well. I think game 3, the Warriors are going to take game 3 as well.
Okay.
And then Cleveland's going to be against the wall in game 4. So I think that's when Cleveland, the momentum might shift a little bit, I think.
And see, I see it just the opposite. I think Cleveland took the punch, and they're upset. They're in that locker room, they're upset, and they got to take that long ride back to Cleveland and understand they got a lot to look at. So I think game 3, they're going to come out like gangbusters. They'll win game 3, but boy, game 4, the way Steph Curry is locked in, think about it. This is a 73-win team last year.
Right.
And you add possibly the second best player on the planet to that team, and this guy has a chip on his shoulder because he want to make sure that everybody knows it was the right decision for him to come to Golden State.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals scheduled to tip off Wednesday night right here on ABC 10. It was a blast having these two guys with me, Henry Turner, Kenny Thomas. Breaking down the NBA Finals, Dale, Warriors up 2-0. There they go. They're still shooting. I'm not even kidding. Henry just nailed a shot into the garbage can with that piece of paper. That happened. He's still got it. They still got it.
Come and embarrass me like that, man.
Hey, pull it out, have them sign it, put it on eBay.
Sounds good.
Money
We're going
goes
to do
to
that
charity.
right now.
Come on. Hey, it's great to have the Kings in the house. All right, yeah, Game 3. That's going to be exciting to watch.
Thanks,
They
Dale.
are right here. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Okay, there's a lot to come yet tonight.